Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Reverend Tomás Garza, and this is A Course in Miracles 365, Awakening to Love. Thank you for all of you who have tuned in recently and for all the recent subscribers. I really do appreciate having you here. And as always, what I appreciate more than anything else is your own commitment to your spiritual path, whatever that looks like. You're watching this for a reason. There's going to be something that I say here in this video that you need to hear, and you may be consciously aware of it, and you may not be. But that's the reason why I show up and teach, because I don't know who may be out there. Isn't it cool, too, that we have all of this 21st century technology to reach each other on the other side of the world? Isn't that awesome? It's great. So, what we're doing here is we're taking a look at some very, very basics of A Course in Miracles before we delve into the text of the Course. And yesterday we looked at a subject known as pure non duality. There are some spiritual traditions, they're relatively few in number, that are what we call non dual. Now, non duality is beyond words. To put it very simply, there is no self and other. There's no other. There's no one out there. Now, that is something for our intellectual minds to really, really get flummoxed by. It can't grasp it. Yeah, reality is beyond our intellectual mind. It's beyond all of our concepts, like human being, like man, woman, nationality, etc. It's beyond all of that. Yet glimpses of it, and in fact, it itself can be experienced, despite the fact that the intellectual mind can't grasp it. There is no one out there. Non dual literally means not two. So there is no opposite person. You're not opposed to someone else. We don't exist apart from one another. We're not bodies, by the way. If we really were, if this were who we are, then of course there would be other bodies, right? But we're not a body. That's the summation of it. And as I mentioned in the last video, that's the shortest line in all spirituality, isn't it? But you're here. So there's something deep within us that knows. It's a deep internal knowing that is drawn to this material. It doesn't have to be A Course in Miracles necessarily, but the pure non-duality, pure meaning God is. What's implicit there is harder for the intellectual mind to grasp than those two words. You might think, well, of course God is. What is meant by that is only God is. It's what those two words imply, that the ego mind, our sense of separate self, the part of our minds that identifies as this, struggles with that. Only God is. So let's take a look at one of the fundamental principles and prominent ideas of A Course in Miracles today. And we'll get to a lot of detail, a lot of detail. The Course offers quite a bit about what a miracle is. But what I want to do today is just give you a summation. And in the next video, we'll look at forgiveness according to A Course in Miracles. But people are interested in the word miracle, are they not? They're interested in the word miracles. So when people become aware that there is a spiritual text known as A Course in Miracles, it's going to generate some interest. And in the last few years, as I've taught this course in various different fashions, people have expressed an interest just for this reason. I mean, people have told me, this intrigues me. The title of this intrigues me. What's a miracle? What's it about? Well, we think of a miracle as being something beyond Newtonian physics, right? Beyond the conventions of science as we're taught in our biology textbooks, chemistry, Newtonian physics, all of that, right? We think of it as something that comes from somewhere else, maybe, as a power like levitation, like Luke Skywalker moving rocks or spaceships in Star Wars. Really, that's what we think of. We think of healing the sick, and someone's helping somebody to cure a physical ailment that may have been viewed as chronic or even untreatable, and they're cured of it. That can be seen as a miracle. If you levitate, if you bend spoons, that can be seen as a miracle. And that's what we tend to think of in life, isn't it? That's what we tend to think of here in the world as a miracle. There's an issue with that this course addresses beautifully, I might add. People think they're incapable of miracles because they don't have the ability to bend spoons, because they're not a healer that heals the sick, because they can't wave their hand like a Jedi Knight and manipulate somebody's thought process, because we can't move our car with the power of thought. But people think they're incapable of miracles. That is not so. This course offers a different definition. A miracle, according to A Course in Miracles, is a shift. It's any shift from fear to love. Any shift from the thought system of the ego to the thought system of the Holy Spirit, any shift from darkness to light, any shift from death to life, any shift from self with a lowercase s to self with an uppercase s, any shift from ego to God, any, no matter how big or small it may appear. If you move mountains with the power of your thought, great. If you don't, no problem. A miracle is any shift from fear to love, any shift. I cannot repeat that enough. Though, for all of our benefit, my own too, I'm going to stop right now. But it really is much broader than we make it to be. And I hope that you may find that really uplifting, because it's powerful when you think about it, because this means each of us, each and every one of us, is capable of making one of these shifts, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem at the moment. That means each and every one of us is a miracle worker, including you, okay? Take that okay however you want to take it. It's a call to action. Coming from this video series, it's a call to action. You're here, you're watching it, you are a miracle worker. I invite you to think of miracles the way this course presents them, because they're much, much more accessible with this definition, with this understanding and practical understanding, emphasis on practice, yes, which of course we get into here. With that understanding, it opens it up to everyone, because the reality here is we have a choice. Each and every one of us has a choice right now, the only time that appears to exist. There's no time. But think of it in terms of past, present, and future, if you find that helpful. Future's not here. Past is gone, leaving us with right now, the present moment. That is very good. It's beautiful because in this moment, we have a choice. You may claim that you don't, and people protest this all the time. I have no choice. Oh, yeah, you do. Of course you do. We have a choice between love and fear, between the thought system of the Holy Spirit, as presented here in A Course in Miracles. That's what this presents, or the thought system of the ego, separation, pain, suffering, where we seem to be individuals, human beings, seem to be, we're not, cut off, running around, competing with one another for what we deem to be scarce resources. No, none of that. No, it doesn't mean that your mind is ready to entertain that notion yet. And if it's not, that's all right. That's all right. I don't know where you are on your own walk, in your own spiritual journey. People come to A Course in Miracles from many, many different backgrounds. It's a self-study course. It's a self-study curriculum. So it doesn't make any difference what your spiritual experience is, or what your schooling is, or your background. It makes no difference whatsoever what tradition you were raised in. This course uses terminology like God and the Holy Spirit that will be familiar to people with a Judeo-Christian background. It also uses extensively the idea of ego from Eastern spirituality, Buddhism, Hinduism, and the like. There's something here for everyone because it's part of what Jesus refers to as a universal curriculum. What is the universal curriculum? It's our awakening. That's universal. That's why spirituality is universal. At its core, the essence, the content of it is exactly the same. All of the outer doors, they only appear outer, but all of the different traditions that exist in the world, traditional religions to non-traditional forms of spirituality, right? All of it, every single door leads to the same place, so to speak. I say, so to speak, because it's not a place at all. There is an idea that is prominent here in A Course in Miracles that I want to leave you with today. That is, ideas leave not their source. Ideas leave not their source. In A Course in Miracles, we are referred to many times in the singular, of course, singular, not plural, as the thought of God, the Son, singular, of God. Ideas leave not their source. We've never left our source. So, what spiritual practice involves, and you may be intimately familiar with this, or maybe you're not, but wherever you find yourself, spiritual practice involves our clearing the blockages to this awareness, removing the barriers that we ourselves have put up to our experience of truth. We've never left our source. When this course insists that we're one with our Creator, one with God, that means one. And along the way, a miracle is any shift, no matter how small it may seem at the moment, no matter how insignificant it may seem, it's not insignificant, and they're all the same. One is equally as powerful as another. So, if you've not heard this definition of a miracle before, I really want to invite you to entertain that. Please do. Please do. And my hope is that you take heart in that and find it uplifting. And I hope that that inspires you to practice. If you are a student, as I am, of A Course in Miracles, I hope that means you delve into it and hit a different level of understanding and deepen your practice and deepen your walk. And if you are just checking out this course, maybe that means you delve into it. Maybe it doesn't. But whatever your walk looks like, I want each and every one of us to please take heart from this. We are miracle workers. We can choose to see ourselves as such. That's really powerful. We can choose to see ourselves as such. All right, guys. So in the next video, we'll take a look at forgiveness and spend some time on that. It's a subject that we return to again and again with this course. But please take heart in this message that miracles are more accessible than we might think, and that you are a miracle worker. All right, this button right here, the little red arrow, is a subscription button. If you like this, you know what to do. Hover the cursor around that, brings up a big subscribe button, and take it from there. Yeah. Please feel welcome to leave any comments or questions. I'm here as a guide. I'm here to help. And if I can be of assistance to you in any way, please reach out and let me know. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you again soon.